Hello, it's Designed by Raz, and today we're going to be going through how to create the best Shopify website possible for your clothing brand in 2025 using the Designed by Raz Ultimate Clothing Shopify theme V2, which is purchased and available on my website. Now, you may have seen websites like this and websites like this, and there is no comparison, especially inside of the clothing brand space. You do not want to fall behind on your website because you're going to be increasing your conversions, you're going to be increasing your brand value and increasing your customer retention. So once you've downloaded, let's get straight into this tutorial on how to create the best possible website for your brand. So we're going to be looking at how to customize the DBRZ Shopify Ultimate Theme V2 today. So once you've purchased this, all you need to do is head over to your Shopify theme page. You can get to this by going to your Shopify dashboard, going down to the sales channels, clicking on online store, and you'll be brought to this page. The next thing to do is press import theme, upload zip file. You can either drag and drop it or you can press add file, go to your latest downloads, press on it, press open, and press upload file. Now, all you need to do is wait for this file to upload and you will be ready to go. It will say installing theme, so just wait for that to finish and then we will get into the rest of the tutorial. Now, once you've downloaded, I suggest you press publish so it is your main store, so you have more ease of access and better editing. And now all you need to do is press customize. That will take you to your Shopify theme dashboard. Now, you're in the Shopify theme editor and this is where we're going to be working on your store. So the first thing that we can go through is the actual appearance of the store itself at face value. So we have the enter page, we have the collections page, and we have all of these select criteria of pages above. We can add more to this and we can take some away, and we're going to go through and edit this. As you see, it doesn't look the cleanest at the moment, but we're going to go through and make that look better. So initially we're going to work on the enter page. So initially you can choose to show or not have the enter page. You go to the left hand side of the screen, you can go up to hide home page and click that on, and that will just show you the main home page instead of actually showing you the enter page when you go to the store. So it depends if you want an enter page or not with your specific website. Now, going on to background settings, we have the change background with video. So we either have the video, which we have on currently. As you see, we have a active video at the back of our store. You can turn that off and that will show you the background image or GIF that you're choosing. And then if you select the change background with color on, it will show you the basic background color, which you can then change. You can also add custom CSS for gradients, or you can choose the gradients yourself. That depends if you want to do that or not. It is completely up to you. Now let's go back and just have the video. So we're going to go through and find a nice video for our site. So for this enter page, we are going to use this video for the enter page as it gives it a very, very clean look. Now, to actually be able to do this, all you need to do is exit out of your editor, go up to the content tab, go down to files, press upload files in the top right hand corner. Then all you need to do is select any MP4 file. Now, it doesn't matter which one, it just depends on the video you want yourself. So we're going to just press open and it will then start uploading. Now, because we already have our file that we're going to be using, we don't need to wait for this to upload. But once it's uploaded, it will show up in here as a file. And all you need to do is go to the right of the name of it and you'll see a copy link button, and that will copy the link of that video. And all you then need to do is go back to the video URL setting and paste that. Now, there is something on mine Shopify dashboard that doesn't show up the actual icon for some reason, but when you press it, it does copy the link. So just go through, do that, change that to the video URL if you want. Now going down, we have the logo settings. So obviously you can press select from library. All you have to do is add a file, drag and drop it, or wherever you want to do, and then press done, and it will upload the logo image or GIF. So you can have a spinning logo if you want, a animated logo if you have one of those, and then you can also change the size of the logo itself. We're going to keep it at about 150 here, and you can change it for the mobile, and you can also change the positioning. So if you want it further down the screen, you can, or you can have it at the top. We're going to have it at 5% as that looks the best. Now we have no logo animation on currently, but we can have fade in. So when you open the site, the logo animation will fade in, or it will scale in. We're going to have fade in on, and we have the date and time at the bottom of our logo. Now we're going to reduce that font to about 15 to make it a bit smoother with our page. Now onto one of the more spicy parts of this page is the menu settings area in the right hand corner. Now currently we have change menu to custom button on, which means we have a single button which will take us to our main home page. If we turn this off, what we have is a multiple area menu. So if you want to edit this, you can press edit, and you can add or remove menu items depending on what you want to have on here. If you just want to have home, catalog and contact, or if you want to remove contact and keep lookbook, catalog and home, you are able to do that. So that is complete personal choice. We can reduce the font size, of course, so we're going to keep that at about 17. I think that looks the best, and then we're going to reduce the spacing to about 8, and then you can change the text color. Of course, we're going to keep that white, and then we are going to keep the glow color a bit lighter. And click enable text glow. There we go. And currently we have enable menu highlight on, but we don't actually have any color because we don't want any color on ours. But if you click color, for example, and you have enable menu highlight on, it will highlight when you are hovering over it, but we're going to take that off for now, and we don't need that. So if you want to have a menu button, for example, you could have enter, and it will just take you direct to the store. So we're going to have the custom menu button on though for this page. Now looking at the footer, we have a couple of items here to look at. We have the social icons which emboss when you touch them, and you can change the color of these, and below in the theme settings you are able to then add your own links in. So let's go to our YouTube currently where you are viewing this video. Go over there, press save, and then when you press on that, can't be opened in the editor, so let's go to view, press that, and as you can see it's done that. It hasn't updated it yet, so I'm not sure why it's not done that. Maybe it's because we haven't pressed save. Let's go to view. There we go. As you can see, it is already looking cleaner. You can press that and it will take us to the desired page, which is great for mobile devices especially, so people can then get to know your brand a bit more. Now going further down this page, we've done the menu, we've done the footer, and there's one more part of the footer which is the copyrights. So that allows you to add a at 2025, this will say your store, the name of your Shopify store. Currently we're using a test account, so it says my store, but you can then change the actual footer theme as well. And then so we have an animation when we press home. You can see that animation there. It loads our logo in it. So what you want to do is, if you want that, you can keep it on, and then if you don't want it, you can take it off, that will allow people to not skip the intro at all. But if you want to have that on, it's something that we have, but we're going to take that off as it makes the page look cleaner. And we will be able to change the page loader at the left of the screen under home page. You can then select it. You can also have whatever you want for this, and then you can make it bigger. So if we press home, we can see that it's large, but we're going to keep that at about 150, 160, 150, about the same. There we go, nice. So once that's done, you can then also select the background color. Let's have a look at what white looks like. There we go, you can see, but we're going to keep that as black because it runs with the theme that we are running with currently. So that is the enter page done, and the music player is pretty self-explanatory. All you have to do for this is either enable or don't enable it, and the same thing as last time is you upload the file, upload the music file, copy it, and then paste it in here, and it will then play that music for you. So let's now move on to the catalog page, which is one of the main pages of your site. So this is where it gets a bit more interesting, and you're able to add a lot more customization. So as you see, we can have the logo. So for adding this, you'll select your logo in the left in the theme settings. So as you're currently, it says edit your logo in theme settings. So go over to the left of your screen, go to the theme settings, go to the top drop down, select your logo. And as you see here, it will show your logo, and you can turn it down, make it bigger depending on what you want. Now some people choose to remove this and just have the name of the site, which is what we're going to be working with today. So that's great. And now we have just one more thing to talk about here. So currently if you press view, you can see that we do not have an image at the top of our tab. It's just showing the home, the earth. But here on the Shopify, you can see it has the Shopify logo, same with the YouTube. So you want that customization on your site. You want it to be authentic. So choose that logo, press done, press save, then refresh, and you can see that your logo is now at the top of your tab. So close that. Now we can start working on the page. So we're going to go down the page. So the first thing is the running text. You can either remove this or have this on your site. It is good, especially for clothing brands, as it allows you to advertise certain parts of your site. So maybe a discount, which is the discount that I currently have running for our products on our site, which is 20% off any product with the code RAS. And you can either have it saying all drop in 5 days, etc. You can change all of the aspects of this, so it's uppercase. Uppercase usually looks the coolest. Now you can change the text size, so we're going to turn the text down to about 14. You can change background and the text color. Now the header. So for the header, there's quite a lot of customization we can have here. So if you want the actual desktop logo, so you can have the logo in the top left, and the logo will be there. Top center, the logo will be above this. So I'm going to show you, for example, what this will look like with the logo. There we go. Desktop logo. Let's turn it down to about 60. Turn down to about 60 on the mobile as well. See what that looks like. Yep. Then we can go back to our selection and we can change the font. So we're going to change the font to about 12 here, because that sort of matches the current page that we are working with. And depending on what you want to do, you can change it to the middle center. Now that one doesn't look too bad, it has it all at the top left, but some clothing brands like to have it at the side as well. But the top center looks the best because you have the search in the left hand, you have the cart in the right, you have your logo at the top, and then you can add all of the specific pages, for example t-shirts, hoodies, jackets, etc. here, and it's a very easy and good header to have. Now below this is the sticky header. So this essentially means on the scroll up one is if you're scrolling up the page, the header will show. Always means the header will always be on your screen, or always reduce logo size is the logo gets reduced the further you scroll down, but we're going to have it as none, so it's a bit more of a smooth line in our site. Now, the bottom margin, the top padding, that allows different spacing. So as you can see, if we reduce this to 0, it doesn't really do much because there isn't much space to actually work with. But if we do the top padding, you can see it moves the actual header further down the screen, but we don't really want it further down the screen. We want it close to the top announcement bar, and the bottom margin reduces between the time and date, but we're going to keep that around 20. So we have a little bit of separation. Now save this one, and you can then go through and edit the cart. Now the cart is a interesting one because some clothing brands like to have it as a full page or as a drawer. So the drawer, for example, pulls it to the right hand side of your screen, and it will show you all the information in, or all of the products in your cart. Now if you have it as a page, when you press it, it will open it up as a page, and it'll show you that your cart is empty. So then if you press continue shopping, it'll take you back to the home page. So what we're going to have is we are going to have the drawer as it looks the cleanest with the current site that we're working on. Now let's move on to the part below. So the shop time and date. Now this is one that you can have on this page. It's not the most detrimental if you don't have it. It's not going to increase your conversions any less. This is something that looks better, looks good, but is not essential. So we're going to turn this off because we want a bit more spacing between our pages. So save that. Then we can go to the collection filter. Now this is just the name of the page itself. You can always edit this in the theme settings, and we're going to take this off so it doesn't actually show it. As you can see, it gives you the instructions on how to do it. So if you want to have the specific collections, so it's V1 collection, V2, V3, release, drop day 4, etc., hoodies, t-shirts, they will all then pop up here and you're able to edit them. We're going to currently have one at the moment as it looks clean, but with a lot of brands you're always going to have multiple up here, so you can direct the user to different collections. Now the product grid, one of the most interesting parts of this page. So the products per page allows you to have a different amount of products per the actual page itself. So if you're on one page, it will show however many you're choosing, 8, and then if you choose 24, you'll be able to fit more products on the page, but we're going to go with 16 here. And then the number of columns on the desktop. So as we currently have it at 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, if we change it down to 1, you can see it's going to be like that. So it all depends on the collection you're working with and what products you actually have to what's going to look the best. So if you have a lot of products, 5 may be the best, but 4 seems to be the best performing in all of the users who have purchased our product. Now the next one is the product card. So the product card allows you to have a specific area for the product, so you can see that this is portrait and it's cutting off some of our hoodie. So we're going to keep this at a square, which is the adapter image, because that is the product photo that we have. And if we turn this off, you can see that it just highlights the name of the product, but if you have show second image on hover on, it shows the second image with a subtle animation which adds to the effect, especially if you've got a product that has a back and a front design. It's very, very good, because then the user doesn't actually have to click on it to view it. They can just hover over it and they'll see that second design. So the product rating is something you don't have to have on, but it will, if you import product rating app, turn this on, it will then allow your product ratings from your store to be below here, so like 5 out of 5 stars. And below this is the enable quick add button. So this is something a lot of stores have on, so it allows you to just add to cart initially. without actually having to do anything, and then obviously it will allow you to select the size, etc. But it's just a quicker way to add a product to the cart, maybe on a drop day, etc. So we're gonna turn that off for the moment, but currently we are now on the filtering and sorting part. So the enable filtering, if you turn this off, you can see that this side and this side had some text on it, so it shows you how many products you have. Then it will allow you to filter from price to availability, and it will show the highest price of the products. So we're going to keep that on because that looks good. Now, desktop filter, layout, vertical, it will have it on the side, and horizontal, it will have it like this, so it can have it all at once rather than having to actually click on it, which is what we are going to use because it allows the users to do it quicker. So it takes time out of their viewing, out of their browsing. Enable sorting, as said, you can sort by all of the above, and it's only showing like this because we're in the theme editors, but we're going to take that off. And then the section padding is the exact same, so the top padding is the distance between the collection filter and the product grid, and the bottom padding is the difference between the footer and the product grid. And you can also check to add currency codes, which will add the currency codes for the user's native location, which is always good if you're selling to multiple areas, multiple countries, but we're going to take that off for now. And the product fade in, so currently we have it fading in, but if you want it to slide from the top, it's going to slide in, as you can see. But if you have none, there's going to be no animation at all, but we're going to have fade in, as it looks clean and works with the current design that we are using. So next thing to do is to go over to the left hand side of your screen to theme settings. You want to then go down to product catalog cards, which is the third row. This will have the animation, and it has the price, so you can then edit the price text size. You can turn that off if you really want to. Wouldn't recommend doing that, but some stores do opt in for that, and you can obviously choose the area for the price, and obviously choose the area for the name of the hoodie as well, or the product yourself, but we're going to keep that in the center. You can hide the card name if you want, depends what you want to use. Badges, and if you turn that on, that will hide them all, but I recommend keeping that off because it will then show if something is sold out. Now the card glow. So the card glow is the red visual you see behind your product. Now you can choose whatever color you want for this. You can import your own colors if necessary. We're going to currently be using red. I think we're going to reduce it a little bit so it looks a bit more subtle, but keeping it so that we can visually see there is a red behind there, which looks good. You can edit the glow size, so it can be however big, however small you want it to be. We're going to keep it around 15, as that seems to be the best because it doesn't take up too much of the page and doesn't then push over to the next product itself. So we then have card border. Enable the card border. It has a card border. You can then change the size of the border, etc. Very, very obvious, but we're not going to be using this. You can then edit the rounding and the color of it, and you can also have enable card border on hover. So if you hover over the product, it will show the card, but we're going to be turning this off and just having it as the product itself. Now down to the footer of the catalog page, we have the email sign up form. Subscribers added automatically to your accepted marketing customer list. You have to set this up manually, so you can either have this off or on, and you can have just sign up for exclusive drops, and then that will automatically have users added to your list. You can also have the follow on shop button, social media icons, which are at the bottom, which we already went through, the country and region selector, and you have to add the regions that you'll be able to sell to, and they will then show up. The language selector, exactly the same. You have to add that in your language settings. The payment methods, which is how you'll be accepting payments, will show up as the PayPal one does here, and policy links. You can go to your policy settings, add all the policies for your store, and you will see that it shows up here, and the cookie preferences as well. Let's just show you that because that's covering it. Hide that bar. As you can see, the privacy policy. Then go back to the home, go back to the catalog, go back down, and the cookie preferences will be all here. You can then edit this in your own Shopify settings if you would like to. Now, the exact same, you can reduce the margin, means there's less space between. We're going to keep that at around 40. The bottom padding reduces the distance between the bottom of the page and the privacy policy, but you want to also keep this at around 30 to give that space between the bottom of the website. And then obviously we have the theme settings below here, which has all of your social media links. It also allows you to add an image into this area. It also allows you to add a headline or a description if you want to have something in your footer, but we are not going to add that currently. And we are going to then move on to the next area of this site. Let's move on to the catalog page. The contact page. Now, this is a pretty self-explanatory page. You can change the background of this page if you want to for the actual contact form page itself. You can change the top padding for this area, so you can make it a bit smaller so it fits in a bit nicer. You can then change the color scheme as well. You can change the size, and you can change the heading. Now, once you've set up your emails and everything working, when they press send, you'll get that email through. So that's pretty self-explanatory. I would keep the background the same for the whole of your site, apart from the enter page if you want to have a different one, as it makes it look a lot cleaner. So now moving on to the lookbook page. This is a great part of the site. It allows you to add specific things to your site that you wouldn't be able to do otherwise. So the lookbook page, what does it actually do? So you see below we have two parts of a slideshow added. So it essentially acts as a carousel. So it will change the slides automatically when the site is live, and you'll be able to go over and go between these images. So you can add more down here by going add section, and it will just add an image slide, and then you can go through and edit this. So as you can see here, we have the first lookbook, which is just an example, and you can have the shop now button. So you can press shop now and it will then take the user to that specific area. So of course you can have the custom image, the custom header, tell your brand story through an image. So this is the first collection release. There we go. Button link, so you can link it to the specific pages. So if you have a specific collection, you'll then be able to connect this, and you'll be able to connect it up so the user can press it and go directly to that page. Or a specific product, for example, if you had this, so pink hoodie, and you'll then be able to paste, so products, pink hoodie, save. You then press on that and it will take you to the pink hoodie itself. Now, to edit the button, all you need to do is press shop now, or whatever call to action label, buy this hoodie now, sort of thing. Very easy, very simple, but adds a good effect to your site, makes it look a lot more professional. And you can obviously go through and change these settings. The footer is exactly the same as the other footers, and the menu for this page is exactly the same as any other, and I would recommend keeping them the same. So now we're going to move on to the blog page. So this is where you can add specific updates for your site. So rather than just having updates on your social medias, you can have updates on here. So maybe your actual site is closed and you have a password page up, but you still have the option to have a blog/news page, which is great to update people on upcoming collections. So rather than just advertising on social media, you can advertise through your own website. So as you can see, we have the Ras Collection V1, the first drop for the Ras version collection, every color, every size, all available now. And you will then be able to connect that up and press shop the collection now. When you press on this button, you'll be able to add the button label and add the product link. And these are just two more examples. As you can see, it then takes us to the hoodie itself. So essentially the same as the lookbook, but it allows for a bit more customization. So yeah, perfect. And the footer is exactly the same. So you can see that we've just added some easy customization here. You can add a rich text in the middle, which is currently in, and allows you to add specific things. So if you want to add more to this, you can add a section. You can add whatever you want. You can add a video, maybe have a promotional video, a blog post. You can write something about your brand, just a normal page. You can add everything, so multi-columns, maybe explaining something about your brand, a slideshow of the latest images, image banner, image with text, rich text, collection list, everything. There's a lot of customization allowed with this theme. So now that we've done with this page, what we have next is the cart. So you can actually edit the cart itself. So if you go down to cart in the theme settings to the left, you can select. So you can go through and select which type of cart you actually want, and you can go through and change all of the aspects of this cart. You can also add your logo at the top as well if you would choose to. Now, the next part is the actual website itself. So what you want to do is you want to go up to the password page. So you press at the top middle of the screen, go down to password. You can press on theme settings. You can add your logo, take your logo away if necessary. What you can also do is you can add a countdown timer. So you can turn that on and it will add a timer to the screen. You can set the timer for when your site goes live, and you can change the description, text and size, the colors, all of that, etc. Then you can change the text colors themselves there, password background. If you want a specific video background, which we are going to have. So we're just going to add the car background just for ease. There we go. So we're going to take that off and we're just going to have the black background for the custom moment. So that allows you to have a full password page with your site, and allows you to collect people in your wait list or your email list or whatever you're using. And then obviously you can have the enter password, enter store using password here, and then obviously enter the store if you're the owner, or when you've actually released your password via SMS or via Instagram or whatever way you're actually getting people to your site. You can then enter that and you'll enter into the site. And then what you want to do now is the 404 page. This is something that not everybody uses. It's just if you have blank pages. So if maybe you don't want a lookbook page, you can have it so it will say page 404 not found. So it allows for just that realistic website look. Now the next part of customizing your store is actually going to the top of the page again, going down to checkout and customer settings, checkout and customer accounts, and you can then actually customize your purchase route. So you can add your logo like this, reduce the size if you want, depending on how big you want it. We're going to have it about 100 here. Now, background image, if you want a background image, you can have one here. So for example, it will be the top of the screen in the header. We're going to remove that currently, and we are going to have the logo at the left, I think. and we are going to add a background to the checkout form. We're going to have it dark for this one. You can also have an image if you want. As you see, it will then add it there. I think that does actually look quite cool, so we're going to keep that as it is, and maybe make this logo a little bit bigger here to 150. Let's go 140. Background 2 is here, so for example, if you have that image here, that'll be there. I don't like the look of that though. I'd keep that white or keep that darker. There we go, that's looking nice. Then we have all of the accents, so for us we're going to use white accents, I think. Actually, well, for the login we're going to have it red. Then for the buttons we're also going to have it red, I think, because that matches the, there we go, look at that, that looks good. Now that will always be blue as it's PayPal. So fields and cards are transparent. Depending on your background, transparent can look good. We're going to have them as white though, so it's easy access for the user. Headings, you can obviously change the typography of everything, and you can then change it to a 3-page checkout or a 1-page checkout. I would probably recommend the 1-page checkout, especially for a clothing brand, as it just makes it for more ease of access for the user and takes time out of their day and is not going to cost them any more of their time. So let's press save and then go back to our theme editor. So what we're going to start working on now is the theme settings. So you can have a custom font. Now, personally, we are just using the Eurostyle Next Bold for our headings, and then we are using our, what is the Eurostyle Next? I think that's the semi-bold, yep, for the text. You can choose whatever font you want, whatever works with your brand itself. Now, for the product page. So once you go onto your catalog, scroll down to a product. We're going to use white as I've imported everything into this specific hoodie. So you can see that we have the variant picker, and we have the quantity, we have the buy buttons, we have the price, and we have the description and the title. Now we also have the images for this product as well. So click on this. Enable previous and next product buttons is the first one. That allows you to go to the next items. Keep that on. Enable sticky content on desktop. That's not too much of a big deal to have. Now the media. Desktop media width, medium, large, makes it larger. We're going to keep that as small as it keeps it on the page nice. Media fit, fill, original, it just fills it to the screen. So desktop layout, 2 columns, as you can see here, that's that, stacked above each other. Thumbnails, that's the one we're going to be using. Thumbnail carousel, that's what we're going to be using. So thumbnails or thumbnail carousel, it does not matter, but we're going to be using thumbnails. Obviously right or left, depending on what you want. Left looks cool. Open lightbox means you're able to then actually zoom in on the product itself. Depending on your brand, maybe that will be cool. We're gonna keep that on actually, and then if you have a video of your product, it will keep playing with this video looping. Theme settings, page width, you can change the size of the page, keep it to 1600, and show currency codes allows you to see GBP there, but we're going to turn that off. So to actually edit this, you should already know how to do this, as I'm assuming you're already selling. But as you can see, we have the title, so we're just going to pull that here. You can see we have the title, which is white hoodie, the description here, and then below we have we have the price, etc., and everything here. So what you want to next look at is your variants. So when you go onto a product without any variants, for example the red one, or this is the red hoodie, so let's go to our red hoodie on our site. Let's go on here, red hoodie. You can see that we don't have anything here, we don't have a description, so let's just put this is a red hoodie. Then we have the pricing, so it's 35, then we can go down to variants. So add options like size or color. For this one, we're going to be using size. So add the size, small, medium, large. For ease of access, there we go. So you can add another option. So if you have lots of items on your site, you can have hoodie, you can add the color itself. So you can obviously add your own color, and you can add the actual specific color itself. You don't have to pick just from all of these custom ones. Well, I mean these specific ones, you can add your own ones, but that depends if you have different items. So as you can see on our store, we have just hoodies, but if you had a hoodie, t-shirt, jacket, bag, shoes, skateboard, you'll be able to then choose the actual color of that specific item. And once you have done that, let's press save. Wait for that to save. Go back on to your catalog, go down to the red hoodie, and there we go. You can see that we have small, large and medium there. Now you are also able to edit the descriptions of these products. So if you go into your store, you go into here, there is something going on my Shopify, but you can see that if I hover over it, say italic, bold, underline, color, alignment, insert image, insert link, all of the above, outdent, numbered list, indent, insert table, etc. You can change the paragraph sizing, generate text, which is the AI feature. So you can do that. You can add colors. So if you maybe want this part to be red, maybe you want the text to be green, the price to be green, you will be able to do that. We're not going to do that currently because that has no effect on our theme itself. That is just your customization. So we're going to go back to the theme settings. So we've done the logo, we've done the custom font, we've done the catalog product cards, we've done, no, we haven't done the custom cursor. So enable custom cursor on, it will just have the blank detail square, select, select, select. Now, once that's done, you can see that now our cursor is actually our logo. So you can have anything for this. You are able to search up custom cursors online and download them the same way that we downloaded our videos and our music files, and then copying the image over and selecting it from your library, dragging and dropping it and putting it in there, and then it will show up. So that's very good, and it allows for a bit more customization and personalization to your site. So colors, you're able to edit all of the specific headers, so the header menus, the product grids, so you're able to edit the price colors. So let's have the price colors as red, maybe. That does the sold out, so let's have the sold out as red. Then let's do the button colors, let's keep them as they are. The website text color in white, and yep, that's good for now. And the copyright at the bottom of the site, if you want it to be white or black, it depends, but that's completely up to you. So the typography, that's the same as the custom font. This is just the general typography, but if you want a custom font, you have to enable that and input the link there. Now, variant pills, this is just for the variants. So these variant pills here, you can either have a drop down, which is as so, or target gender or male, but we're going to be using the pills today as it looks the cleanest, and you can always go through and edit the thickness and opacity of these below. Now inputs, content containers, media, drop down and pop-ups, drawers, and badges, and not brand information, are all just customizations that you can do. So it's like for example, the drop downs and pop-ups. If we had drop down here, it would be the thickness of the drop down, the opacity of the drop down, etc. So this is all just small customizations which you can do to your site to add that aesthetic to it. So the brand information, as I said earlier, was the brand information at the footer. So maybe you could put the location of your store. If you have a real store, you can add the logo, etc. That's brand information. Social media, this is all the social media accounts. So if you populate any of these, it will be universal throughout the whole of your site. Search behavior, so as you can see, we have the search bar at the top of the page. If we go over here, enable search suggestions on, show product and vendor, show product price. So if we go over here, if we save that, go over here, reload that, press search. If we go hoodie, you can see that it has suggestions. So it's either home page or hoodie, because that's the only ones we have. So it will show that it's you, and it will show the price, etc. Then you'll be able to click on that and move over to it. So say we wanted to go to the look book, it would then come up with the lookbook, but we have not connected that, so you'd need to connect it for that to work. And then we have the currency format, so show currency codes if you want. That's obviously as what we said earlier. And the cart is the same exact thing that we mentioned earlier. And the custom CSS allows you to add custom things to your site. So looking at my store itself, if we go into it, what we can see is we have 150 plus Shopify liquid codes. So for example, what these will do is they will add these images or these actions to your store. So for example, if you've had X amount of customers or X amount of views in the last 24 hours, day, whatever, you can get these, you'll be given the code for it, and then all you can do is add it into here, and it will allow you to add that into your store itself. So it adds into that conversion rate, it increases the conversion rate. There's also one inside of this pack that shows people that have just purchased items from your store. So it will show, oh, X person has just purchased this hoodie, this person has just purchased this item. So it allows for that increased conversion rate. The theme style, you don't need to do anything with this. This has no effect on anything. So that is the DBRZ V2 Shopify theme. So let's go and look at it. So that has been hide bar, not edit bar. So that has been very, very easy, very fast. And we have managed to create a very good looking clothing brand Shopify store very fast. So that is the complete walkthrough of the current V2 Shopify theme. There is updates coming out soon. We are having a V3 update, and there's going to be a lot more customization that's going to be coming, especially towards clothing brands. There's going to be an increased version of drop day. There's going to be specific aspects that are going to increase your conversion rate and increase the proclivity of your store on drop day. So we're going to be announcing that soon, so stay tuned on the YouTube. And this has been DBRZ with the Shopify theme Ultimate V2. So go ahead, purchase this, follow our walkthrough, and make sure to view the other videos on it where we go over other aspects, and we will be able to help you whenever. If you need help with anything, please don't hesitate to reach out on email or on Instagram. If you reach out on Instagram, there will be a higher chance that I will be able to respond very fast, because I check that more often than emails. So if you have any queries or any questions regarding the store or the theme itself or the clothing brand pack that we have, as we also have the V1, we have the clothing brand pack V1, and we have the liquid code snippets. So please reach out, and you'll have one-on-one advice all of the time. So thank you very much for watching, and happy design.